We start off with the escalating war in the Middle East 1 year after the continuous attacks on Gaza. 105 rockets were fired at the northern Israeli city of Haifa and the Galilee area in an hour today. Israel confirmed that the rockets were fired from Lebanon in 2 separate barrages. While numerous rockets were intercepted or fell in open areas, at least 2 buildings in Kiryat Yam and Kiryat Moskin were directly hit. We have details in this report.
Bonne cérémonie à tous.
The morning of October 7th last year, as thousands of people partied at the Nova Festival, Hamas struck, killing and kidnapping Israelis in that terror attack and changing the course of history in this region forever. What followed was a war in Gaza, which has seen more than 40,000 Palestinians killed, a widening of the conflict across the region into Lebanon and beyond, an intervention from Iran. 97 hostages who still have not returned home. A year on, their families are still waiting desperately for news of their loved ones. Israel says at least 250 persons were taken hostage by Hamas on the 7th of October last year. These 97 are still unaccounted for. Israel will continue to fight. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed on the anniversary of the October 7 Hamas attacks. A year into the war in Gaza, Israel's goals, including toppling Hamas, returning the hostages in Gaza to Israel, and returning Israelis displaced by fighting with Hezbollah to their homes, seem far from reach. Hezbollah has publicly supported effort by Lebanon's parliament speaker to achieve a ceasefire with Israel for the first time since the war started. It said it will only stop firing at Israel once a ceasefire is reached with Hamas in Gaza. If the enemy continues its war, then the battlefield will be decisive, and the battlefield belongs to us, the leader of Hezbollah said. Alan is the father of Tamir, kidnapped by Hamas on October 7, 2023. Every day, he hopes to be able to find him alive. I hope and I think he is alive, he says. Tamir is one of the 63 hostages still held in the Gaza Strip, but this figure remains uncertain, with no official communication from Hamas. With the help of candles, commemorative films and speeches, nearly 2,000 people paid tribute to the hostages killed and still being held by Hamas.
His power to bring Ohad, Ofer, and all 101 hostages back home.
In France, 1 year after the October 7 attack, President Macron meets one-on-one at the Élysée Palace with the families of the 2 French hostages still being held in Gaza. Meanwhile, New York Governor Cory Hochul was among the state and local officials attending an event on the night of October 6 at Temple Israel Center in White Plains that marked the first anniversary of the October 7 attack on Israel by Hamas. Do not call them anything but terrorists. That's what Hamas is, Hochul said. Hochul recounted her visit to Israel after the attack and described both the damage she saw and the strength of character shown by the Israeli people she met.
But at a certain point, the sounds of the pulsating music were drowned out by the gunshots and the missiles firing overhead and the trucks arriving, literally stealing people, throwing them into vehicles. And the image of that one young woman off the back of a motorcycle being stripped away into the unknown. And in the homes, the places I visited, as the first elected official to travel to not just Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, but went out to the kibbutzes, literally 1 week after President Biden had been there as well. As he was touching down, or he was leaving, I was touching down. I went to places no American had been to yet. And the photos will never, ever take the real images out of my mind, with the smells.
The death toll from an Israeli strike on a house at the Al Burej refugee camp in central Gaza on Monday has risen to 30. The Israeli military has intensified air bombardment on central Gaza in recent days, saying today it was dismantling terrorist infrastructure sites and eliminating terrorists in the neighborhood.